I want to update you on a story now that we've been following very closely, and we promised we would take you along. So, as you'll remember, for 2.5 years, Michael McCarty is a father who's been fighting to bring home his son, Liam. His son was taken to Italy wrongfully by his mother, and the fight continues. Now, just over a week ago, Michael McCarty went to Rome to visit with his 8-year-old son. What happened next is absolutely shocking. Take a look. It's a trek Michael McCarty knows all too well. In the past 2 years, he's made about a dozen trips to Italy to try and bring back what means the most, his son Liam, now 8 years old. But for all his dreams, he was just hoping his son is okay.
The last time I saw him was a few months ago, and every day I'm worried about his safety and what's going through his mind.
Now Michael would be able to see for himself, and we went along. It's a heartbreaking legal tangle that started in 2007 when, without warning, Liam's Italian mother ignored a court ruling and took the boy to Italy. She's now on the FBI's list of parental kidnappers, and Liam is torn between two parents and two countries. Even more tragic, Liam ended up in an Italian orphanage after his mother was ruled unfit. While Michael knew he couldn't win custody on this trip, he still had high hopes for the scheduled visitation. He thought it would be a chance for father and son to reconnect. Instead, it turned out horribly. Our cameras weren't allowed in, but Michael says there were 6 security guards and Italian reporters surrounding Liam.
The mother was there screaming. The grandmother was there screaming.
And when he finally got a glimpse of Liam, this father learned just how far apart he and his son truly are.
He yelled at me that I was a bad person, and then I walked back inside. You know, I just don't know why they are doing this to him.
It's a very good question. Michael McCarty joins us right now. I'm sorry for you to have to see yourself like that, but I know that, we talk a lot, and I know you went there. You just wanted to make sure he was okay. Could you have ever imagined that he would regard you the way he did?
Well, it's not surprising, I guess, under the circumstances of the pressures that are being put upon him. He's in a really, really bad situation. He's been shuttled around from place to place. He does not know who to trust. I read some documents yesterday and early this morning that he was kept up all night, the night before this visitation. I arrived there. I think you guys said there were 6 security guards. I think there were actually more like 12 or 14. There was a throng of people. There were reporters from Rai Television all around. There was the grandmother and the mother yelling and screaming. A guy I came to find out was her latest attorney yelling at, and in the middle of that was my son sitting there surrounded by these security guards and witnessing this whole scene.
Constantly under the influence of his mom, who was found unfit, but who constantly says you were physically abusive to him or sexually abusive. And he's constantly asked about you by experts in terms of whether or not you abused him. He's just barraged with this now.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, all those matters have been settled. They were.
But in his mind, I'm saying, there's no merit to the claims in this country, in that country, understood. But to the child, what do you think it's done?
I've read that he can't even define, that he says, my father's a bad person, but he can't define what it is.
Right.
So, we don't even know what's going through his mind. It's very clear to them at this point what is, that he's traumatized. I mean, that there's a problem and that nothing ever happened to him. And it's pretty clear to them where that's coming from. The mother was there. She brought him there. There's a court order that she not be near him. Why was she even allowed there? Why were there reporters there?
The logic breakdown here legally is that they say this situation is very bad for the child. You're arguing, yes, and you're creating this situation. You're not supposed to be in his care.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be in the United States, and that is simply still being ignored, even with the media attention, even with the legal proceedings.
Well, yeah, it's being ignored, and they're saying to me now in Italy in court orders that are issued very quickly that by putting him in the media, well, they're saying I'm putting him in the media. That's really incorrect. He's been in the media for 2 years because he was kidnapped. There was a crime committed. But they're saying that because of that, they're blaming that on me and saying that that is traumatizing him. So now the courts are even trying to find some reason to say that I'm not acting in a manner befitting a parent.
So let's keep the audience apprised of the situation. What happens next?
That's a very good question. I wish I knew. I mean, I know that later this month there are going to be some determinations made as to where he gets placed next. It will either probably be back in the orphanage or it would possibly with an uncle, maybe left with the grandparents. We're not sure. I mean, I'll try to go back and see what I can find out.
All right, Michael, thank you so much. We will stay on this situation, stay in contact with us, and you can go to the website for more information.